Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak that's set to release on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC on June 30th. And today we're going to be checking out some extremely important news, and that is the fact that Capcom took to social media to finally confirm that we are going to be getting a brand new presentation in May. And I think the timing is just about perfectly when it comes to the actual rumors that had been swirling around regarding the most upcoming presentation that was actually supposed to be taking place this month. And this is something that I specifically covered in 3 separate videos. I never really put out a specific video for it, only because all I had was rumors. I don't necessarily like to make videos about rumors unless I feel 100% about it, but this is one of those things that I had several people mention to me that Capcom was going to be making a presentation of some sort this specific week. I mentioned this in several videos in the past week. You can check out my video history and be able to see that I talked about it in separate videos, but they were never the focal point of that specific video. This was just things that I specifically accounted for as to expecting some type of presentation to be revealed for this week, and it never materialized. So the fact that Capcom took all the way to the end of the week to go ahead and confirm that they were going to be having some presentation for next month means that it must most likely push back for whatever reasons. They actually don't give us any internal details when it comes to what it is that's going to be happening, but we now know that a presentation is coming. First and foremost, in the North American Twitter account, they basically reads as follows. It says, heads up, the next news reveal for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is planned for May 2022. Watch this space, and they mentioned their official Twitter account to basically just keep keep your eyes peeled on the Twitter account, and you should be able to see, whenever they reveal it, which of course we're going to be covering that here as well. In the Japanese Twitter account, they have a little bit more information, and it reads as follows. The next information discourse of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is scheduled for May. We will inform you of the official website's details and the official Twitter account in the near future. Please look forward to the following report. So of course, the same information, nothing necessarily, out of the ordinary, and pretty much exactly what you would have expected, but pretty much they are confirming that a presentation is set for May. They don't even say early, mid, or late May. You would have to presume that, I'm just gonna presume, I should rather say, that because it was originally scheduled for April, we are now going to be able to get it maybe by the second week of May. This is usually how these things type of work. So if we're talking about the second week of May, for me, presumably, and again, that's just me speaking, this is no insider talk, this is probably going to happen in between the week of the 9th and the 13th, if I had to wager. But we'll just have to wait and see. Now, as to what they are going to reveal, this is the thing that a lot of people are very adamant on, that they need to reveal more, because we only have 3 official brand new monsters being revealed. Of course, the Bishop and such species doesn't necessarily count as a new monster, although it does to some people. But, we're not going to get into those details. That's not really what I want to get into. But at the end of the day, the 3 Lords and the Citadel are the biggest bulk of the content that they have revealed so far. We know there's weapon changes coming. We know there's going to be a balance patch as well. Not only beneficial to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak brand new players and anyone who purchases the expansion, but also people who purchase or have been playing Monster Hunter Rise. You're also going to get the benefit of those patches, of those weapon balances. We know those silkbind attacks and stuff like that are also going to get tweaked as well. There's a bunch of smaller little things that we can go over and discuss as to what the real changes are, but ultimately, the bulk of the content is Master Rank, the Citadel, the 3 Lords, and whatever such pieces they're going to add. And a lot of people are expecting, and they're adamant that we need to get another map. And I agree with them on that. This is one of the things that has been kind of a sticking point when I see people being a little bit critical when it comes to the content or lack thereof of Sunbreak. Again, you can't really be critical when we don't know the entire information just yet. But at the end of the day, I do think, and I agree with most people, that another map needs to be kind of revealed, and of course along with that needs to come a slew of new monsters as well. They've kind of tapped down. This is actually one of the things that I spoke about when I did that entire reveal video for the map of the Citadel, and I kind of broke down the entire outlook of the Citadel and where kind of like everything is located. You have Garangolm to the left side, you have Malzeno to the right side in the temple and the broken down church, and then you have Luna Garen in the icy area up of north. This is all located based off of the area, the starting point area, where you come out of that gate area, and you know, you're coming off of the boat that you made your way out from Elgato. So this is all located based on you coming out from the south and making your way north to the icy area. To the east, presumably it would be Malzeno's cathedral, and to the west you would have Garangolm. So because we had all the information for that map, there's kind of nowhere else to put in new monsters in for them to feel like they have their own specific area. And of course, Capcom is not going to release a game, or at the very least an expansion, with just 3 new monsters. That really would not be part of the course for the series at all. This is something that I even went over a couple of months back when I discussed how, you know, every single previous, let's say, master rank expansion from 3U to 4U to cross generations ultimate to Iceborne, they added like a number of monsters, even subspecies included, but the numbers were always like 13 to 15 to 16, somewhere around there. I don't remember the specifics, but they were never 3 or 4. You know, that's not what they typically do. So even if they were to do something as, let's say, quote unquote lazy as adding just Apex versions of new monsters, like Apex Nargacuga, Apex Magnamalo, Apex Tetranodon, or anything along those lines, even if they chose that quote-unquote lazy route, they still need to reveal more of those. We just simply don't have enough monsters to account for the entirety of the expansion. This is why the idea of a new map and a new place to be able to hunt these monsters makes the most amount of sense. But again, because they have not necessarily revealed, Capcom has not necessarily revealed all their cards, and they're very good at keeping some things in, we simply do not know as to what that could be. Now, there are some hints as to what ultimately the story could be about. This is something that we actually saw in Malzeno's cathedral at the back end, and pretty much at the, what would you call that, where the priest essentially would be, the podium, if you will. I don't necessarily know the proper wording for that, but we basically have seen that red glowy area around Malzeno's cathedral, where there is some residue of something going on, and there's no details as to what that could be. You have that coral outgrowth as well coming up from the cathedral's side as well. We don't necessarily account for that because that is not Malzeno's power. We know that's not it. That's not what he does. His like sucking energy ability, or his life drain, if you will, that is not has anything to do with that coral outgrowth happening in the cathedral. And then we also have, of course, the magical tree, the purple glowy tree that we also have in the Citadel as well. This is where something that you saw in the Garangolm fighting clip as well, in the combat clip that we got from Capcom. We have that weird tree with those. A lot of people actually broke it down a little bit better, and I wish I could give their names a shout out, because I saw someone post some really interesting things, not just on one of my video replies, but also in like a subreddit. And they basically broke down how it looks like tattered rags essentially being hanging from the tree itself, and there's like, you know, a glowy thing happening there, but we don't necessarily know if it could be like Reaper's cloth or anything along those lines, which is weird if that even have an effect in the game or the actual look of it. You know, that's just speculation, but at the end of the day, we don't necessarily have any details, and that is probably going to be one of those driving factors as to what the story ultimately about. But there are hints in the stuff that we have seen already, at the very least 2 key ones in that regard. So what can we expect in this presentation? I think I already went over it. Obviously, a brand new area. I think that is the key thing that people are expecting to see. That's number one. The connection to a new area means brand new monsters. That's kind of a given. How many new monsters? Well, I made a video about that separately as well. And at the end of the day, I kind of speculated that if they're going to do the max amount of monsters, it would be 20. That would include subspecies, that would include apexes, that would include new monsters, that would include returning monsters from previous games, aka Astalos types, you know, Shogun Senator types, that kind of a thing. But at the end of the day, you know, maybe they're going to go less than 20, you know, so maybe we could be looking at about 15 or so. And that would include such pieces in Apex, which I know a lot of people don't consider them as new monsters, but, you know, it could be what it is. ultimately, Capcom is going to have the final design, the final call. And I think one of the things that is going to really upset people, and this is one of the things that I wanted to leave at the back end of the video because I know ultimately it's going to upset people, but the reality is Capcom already did it. And that's the fact that when they released Monster Hunter Rise, remember the game launched at version 2.0 and ultimately 3.0 completed the game. We got the Narwa finishing story. We got the Elder Dragons added in 2.1, I believe that was, or 2.0 actually added the Elder Dragons. The game launched in 1.0, added the Elder Dragons in 2.0, and then 3.0. You know, we also got Basil Geese in 2.0 as well, and then 3.0 added in, you know, Allmother, Narwa, and a couple other things as well. I think this is something that we're also going to get again. Capcom's kind of been starting to dabble into that service, live service idea. If they could make Capcom a free-to-play live service game, they would have done so already. I think this is them dabbling on that, and maybe even if we see this in Sunbreak, which I expect them to do, this is them just continuing those efforts. We are going to get most likely a confirmation in this specific presentation that there will be some type of post-launch DLC roadmap, of course, and along with it will be the introduction of new monsters, maybe even returning monsters. And this is where you can start to see the likes of like Silver Rathielos, Gold Rathian kind of a thing added in as like post-launch DLC. You know, monsters that aren't necessarily, you know, all that, you know, hard work for them, but at the end of the day, they can still say, hey, this is new content, enjoy that, you know. So I think they could definitely take that route as well going forward. And, you know, it would be hard to be upset, you know, if they certainly try to bring back collaborations as well alongside new monsters. You know, it would be fine. It's just however of those new monsters they choose to add, on top of course, the fact that we're getting master rank, new armors, new weapons, and a slew of other goodies. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that's about all I wanted to go over. Again, presentation in May, that is what they confirmed. And going forward, we're just going to have to wait and see when they give us a specific date. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.